Stevie finds a human skull in a cave, causing panic amongst his friends. A rescue mission is quickly put into action with Captain Miles leading it. However, things take a terrifying turn when the boy is found with blackened eyes. Captain Miles is worried about his men, who've lost communication during a dangerous mission. Meanwhile, Mulder and Scully are investigating a bomb threat made on the federal building. Scully, exhausted and doubtful, questions her involvement as she's directed to continue her search in another building. Scully and Mulder continue their investigation, with Mulder arguing that they need to expect the unexpected in their search. Scully is visibly uncomfortable with the intense heat and fatigued, questioning their presence in such a hostile environment. In the torrid heat, Mulder keeps his spirits high by teasing Scully about their unusual predicament. Joking about her reaction when they found a locked door, Mulder suggests they could both use some refreshments to combat the scorching weather. In the next scene, Mulder hilariously discovers a bomb inside a vending machine, leading Scully to initiate a hurried evacuation. The urgency rises when they realize they've been focusing on the wrong building all along. Trapped with an explosive device, Mulder shows off his bomb-defusing skills as Scully hustles to clear the area. With just 4 minutes left, an alarming realization hits Mulder, prompting a quick escape sequence. They barely manage to flee from the explosion in time. In the wake of the explosion, a hearing is set in place by the Attorney General's office to assess responsibility for the public property destruction and loss of lives, including that of Special Agent Michaud, firemen, and a young boy. Mulder, being late, is asked to step outside the hearing. Mulder and Chief Darius Michaud are discussing the ongoing hearing and the blame being placed on Mulder and Scully for the explosion. They reflect on the damage and lives lost and the potential backlash for the FBI. Mulder admits that he broke protocol, which led to leaving SC alone with the device. Mulder and Scully face an uncertain future as Scully reveals that they are being split up by their superiors. Not only are they blamed for the explosion, but Scully also discloses that she's due for reassignment. This decision leaves them both anxious, as it threatens not just their professional collaboration but also their personal bond. Grappling with the separation, Mulder admits to Scully he might quit. After they part ways, he finds himself at a bar. To the bartender's innocent question about his job, he candidly, but wearily, lays out the extraordinary stakes of their now jeopardized work. At the bar, a stranger provokes Mulder, making snide remarks relevant to his recent case in Dallas. Mulder's taken aback, wondering how this stranger knows about internal FBI matters, thereby hinting at a deeper, darker conspiracy at play. Mulder is approached by Dr. Alvin Kurzweil, who claims to be an old friend of his father. Dropping shocking revelations about the Dallas bombing, Kurzweil asserts that SC Darius Michaud had no intentions of defusing the bomb, raising many perplexing questions in Mulder's mind. Mulder and Dr. Kurzweil continue to discuss the Dallas bombing. Kurzweil reveals a startling theory that the victims were already dead before the explosion. Additionally, he suggests SC Darius Michaud's loyalty to unknown individuals and their hidden intent behind choosing the particular building to conceal something unpredictable. Despite his skepticism, Mulder appears influenced by Dr. Kurzweil's theory, leading him to wake Scully in the middle of the night. They head off to examine a mysterious discovery, with Mulder saying the specimen's development is unlike anything they have seen before. Mulder and Scully, alongside Dr. Voss, witnessed a fireman being consumed by a parasitic organism due to high heat. Deciding to test a vaccine on him rather than destroying the body, they face an obstacle when General McAddy restricts access to the morgue. Mulder and Scully gain access to the morgue, bypassing the guards with insistence on their need to conduct their business swiftly. A morgue technician implies the fireman died from his injuries, but they are determined to find evidence of the parasitic cause of death. Upon opening the fireman's body, Mulder and Scully discover no autopsy has been conducted, contradicting the report they read earlier. The man's cause of death is left vague, with his tissues mysteriously degraded. As Mulder acknowledges his suspicions about a cover-up, Scully voices concern about being discovered in the morgue. While looking for Dr. Kurzweil for answers about the fireman's mysterious death, Mulder finds himself questioned by a suspicious local resident. The resident implies that the doctor is involved in unsavory activities, leaving Mulder unsettled and uncertain about Kurzweil's credibility. Dr. Kurzweil believes FEMA is using the virus outbreak as a front to exercise their power. He suggests that the outbreak was not hantavirus. Mulder finds himself in a murky conspiracy with more questions than answers. Dr. Kurzweil reveals that he and Mulder's father were involved in a major biological warfare project, implying a large-scale plague. The uncurable virus, developed over half a century, is set to be released on a national holiday, setting the stage for the government to seize major control. To reveal the truth about FEMA and the ominous biological warfare from Dr. Kurzweil's claims, Mulder decides to investigate further in Dallas. Trying to convince Scully to join him, he promises to find new evidence in return in time for her hearing. However, Scully hesitates due to her precarious situation with the FBI. In Dallas, Mulder procures some seemingly insignificant bone fragments FEMA recovered from an archaeological site. On getting a closer look at her samples, Scully concludes she's found something noteworthy that she can't reveal to others without causing a stir. Scully has trawled through the bone fragments Mulder brought back from Dallas. She discovers an alien virus she believes might be a serious health threat. During her research, she observes an anomaly. It seems the virus has gestated and left the host's body. Mulder and Scully witness a shocking event, requiring urgent assistance. However, the focus then shifts to a shadowy cabal discussing something referred to as colonization. An impending humanitarian crisis instigates Strughold, the chairman, to call an emergency meeting overseas. Worries heightened, he urges members to reassess their role. Revelations about a mutated virus transforming into a new extraterrestrial biological entity alarm the cabal. They face a dilemma over whether to cooperate and hand over an infected specimen, thereby potentially enabling their own exploitation and hastening their demise. The cabal is troubled. Mulder knows about the infected bodies due to a tip-off, presumably from Kurzweil. The cabal discusses dealing with Kurzweil and Mulder, fearing Mulder's investigation could turn into a crusade. Their chilling solution involves removing something irreplaceable from his life. Mulder and Scully visit the marked location on the map to confirm the presence of the virus that has been causing unusual deaths. However, they find everything covered up. The grass looks too green for the climate, and the equipment seems brand new. As they try to gather information from local boys, they realize that someone has instructed them to stay silent. Mulder and Scully find a suspiciously new playground builds as they explore. Locals who appear to be withholding information clue them in on unmarked tanker trucks left recently. The duo grapples over which direction to follow, with a waste stretch separating the alternatives. Stranded in a deserted location, Scully expresses her frustration about chasing phantom tanker trucks while a pressing hearing in Washington, D.C. awaits her. Mulder alleges they're actually pursuing evidence, bodies infected with a possibly extraterrestrial virus. Scully is taken aback by this revelation. Mulder and Scully stumble upon a field of corn grown in the middle of a desert, over a larger structure acting as a venting system. As they descend into it, they're attacked by a swarm of bees. In the panic, Mulder loses sight of Scully. The scene ends on a cliffhanger with Mulder frantically calling out for Scully. Mulder and Scully manage to escape from the swarm of bees within the ventilation structure. Back in safety, Scully makes accusations against Special Agent Michaud, presenting fossilized bone fragments discovered at the explosion site in Dallas as evidence of secret experiments involving a potential virus. While Scully and Mulder try to collect more evidence tying the experiment to the Dallas explosion, they encounter Kurzweil. They debate theories about a potential transportation system involving transgenic crops. Scully accuses Kurzweil of exploiting her for book research. Mulder is shocked when Scully tells him about her reassignment to Salt Lake City and her decision to resign. Despite Mulder's protests and his assertion that they're on the brink of something big, Scully is adamant about leaving, believing she's been holding him back. Mulder confronts Scully about her plans to resign from their shared work, openly expressing how important and irreplaceable she is to him. Their conversation gets interrupted when Scully gets stung by something. She starts to experience alarming symptoms, such as severe chest pain and weakened vital signs, suggesting a severe reaction. Scully's medical emergency takes a severe turn as she is rushed out by ambulance, with Mulder unable to accompany her. When Mulder wakes up in a hospital, he's disoriented and struggles to comprehend his surroundings, questioning why he's in a hospital. See Mulder, Skinner, Frohike, Byers, Smoking Man. Upon gaining consciousness, an urgent Mulder presses to know Scully's whereabouts, learning she had a reaction to a honeybee. Urged to stay protected, Mulder forms a plan to escape the hospital undetected, borrowing Byers' clothes. Meanwhile, the Smoking Man reveals critical information about Scully's location and how to save her. The Smoking Man gives Mulder a weak vaccine to counteract the extraterrestrial virus Scully is suffering from. He presents an intriguing theory that the virus predates the dinosaurs, suggesting it's the original inhabitant of Earth. The smoking man explains to Mulder that the alien virus has been dormant for millions of years, awaiting reconstitution by the alien race that initially seeded it, in order to colonize the Earth using humans as hosts. He divulges that their group has been facilitating programs alongside these colonists for access to the virus. The gravity of the situation extends to such lengths that it required maintaining secrecy even from individuals like Mulder's father. A frightening revelation is that the smoking man continues to reveal the terrifying plans for earthly colonization and the creation of human alien clones, stating that Mulder's sister was abducted to ensure her survival as a genetic hybrid. He suggests that Mulder's father hoped he would unearth this truth and thwart these sinister plans. As he details this chilling narrative, the smoking man admits that his life is in danger due to this very disclosure, revealing a personal side seldom seen. The smoking man warns Mulder to trust no one, confesses to his attempted murder, and tells him about an alien vaccine that could potentially sabotage the alien colonization plans. He urges Mulder to find Scully to understand the extent of their Sinister project. In a high-paced turn of events at the station, there's a possible security breach. Scully, who has breathed in a contaminant, fights for air as Mulder tries his best to evacuate her. Her strength dwindling, she struggles to keep up with Mulder's pace as they escape. As Mulder and Scully narrowly escape a possible security breach, they find something shocking. Later, a skeptical officer, finding the links in their report too fantastical and implausible, refuses to present it to the Attorney General. The seemingly unrelated elements of bees and corn crops add more intrigue to their case. Despite detailing their experiences and findings, Mulder and Scully face dismissal from an officer who finds their story, involving a virus, bees, and transgenic crops too unbelievable to investigate further. Feeling betrayed, they realize their entire report is being conveniently buried. On the verge of giving up, Mulder urges Scully to abandon their pursuit of the truth and pursue her career in medicine. However, she stands her ground, insisting their work has potential to save lives. Convinced they cannot concede, she declares her commitment to continue. Visiting an unknown individual, Scully brings up Mulder and their work. The individual dismisses Mulder as insignificant in the face of a grander scheme. However, Scully receives an unknown item that might hold importance for their investigation.